The episode begins in Bangkok, Thailand, where Peter and another night agent, Alice, are on a high-stakes mission. They're trailing a suspicious man they believe is leaking confidential intel. However, they don't yet have solid proof. The man appears anxious, frequently checking to see if he's being followed. Their pursuit leads them to a temple, where they observe him meeting a bald man. Realizing they need to split up to follow both targets, Peter trails the original suspect, while Alice focuses on the bald man. Peter follows his target through the crowded streets and watches him stash a USB drive in a hidden location. Moments later, another man retrieves the USB, prompting Peter to follow this new individual. Meanwhile, Alice continues tailing the bald man. However, things quickly spiral out of control. It turns out to be a trap. Both Peter and Alice are ambushed and forced to flee for their lives. Alice contacts the night action line, requesting an emergency extraction, and relays the exfil location to Peter. Unfortunately, tragedy strikes. Alice is killed before she can reach safety, and Peter finds himself cornered again. Peter calls the night action line and speaks to his supervisor, Catherine Weaver, who is shocked to hear that the mission has failed and Alice is dead. With danger closing in, Peter doesn't have time to explain all the details. He manages to eliminate one attacker but remains severely outnumbered. In a desperate move, he jumps into a nearby river to escape, even after being injured during the fight. The focus shifts back to one of the men involved in the operation. He appears to be the mastermind and is visibly pleased to have secured the USB drive, indicating that it contains something critical. The story picks up with Rose, who is now struggling with PTSD. She attends therapy sessions but finds it difficult to open up. When her therapist suggests trying a different approach, Rose becomes frustrated and shuts down further discussion. Later, we learn she has taken up a job at a tech company called Adverse, which is developing a product capable of creating precise advertising profiles based on a person's picture or name. During a presentation to potential investors, Rose is interrupted by persistent phone calls. She excuses herself and answers, only to find a strange man on the other end claiming Peter is in trouble. Alarmed, Rose tries to get more information, but the caller hangs up upon learning Peter hasn't been in touch with her. Worried, Rose reaches out to Michelle, who arranges a meeting between Rose and Catherine. However, Catherine has no updates on Peter's whereabouts. She explains that he went missing after the Bangkok mission failed and reveals that she's been searching for him as well. Rose, disappointed by Night Action's lack of answers, decides to take matters into her own hands. Using her skills at Adverse, Rose tracks Peter to New York. She requests temporary leave from work, lying to her boss that it's due to her mother's health, and promises to work remotely. Her boss agrees, allowing her to pursue the lead. Peter is hiding out in New York and appears to be surveilling someone. He has also taken on the role of coaching a young boy named Ethan, but it's clear he has ulterior motives. Through his conversations with Ethan, we learn Peter is trying to reach Ethan's dad. Ethan mentions he's been secretly communicating with his dad through a messaging app. After a basketball training session, Peter secretly swaps Ethan's phone and uses it to contact Ethan's dad, pretending to be Ethan. He manages to arrange a meeting with him, but Ethan's dad asks for time to finalize the location. While waiting, Peter prepares for the meeting, intending to capture and interrogate Ethan's dad. The president, stressed by the pressures of an election year, meets with night action supervisors. She insists that Catherine prioritize finding Peter, expressing concern that Catherine might hold a bias against him because of his father's controversial history. Catherine clarifies that her concern for Peter is genuine. She worries about his mental state, especially since his training was accelerated and he's now missing in action. The president orders her to travel to New York to track him down. Determined to find Peter, Rose uses manipulation and lies to gather clues. She eventually discovers that Peter is now going by the name David and is coaching Ethan. Rose tracks Ethan down and he tells her that David Peter is running late. He also reveals that David has his phone and Rose offers to help track it since David is unreachable. Later that night, Peter lures Ethan's dad into a trap, but things goes horribly wrong when his cover is blown. Ethan's dad realizes Peter needs him alive and uses this knowledge to escape. Peter chases after him only to run into Rose during the pursuit. Before they can talk, a new threat emerges. A different man starts shooting at them, leaving no time for explanations or reunions. The episode ends on a thrilling cliffhanger, setting the stage for more danger, action, and intrigue in the episodes to come.